So to make the vanilla bean scones, we're going to just add all of the dry ingredients into the bowl first. And if you have a sifter, it's a really nice way to make sure that none of the powders have any clumps. So I have one, so I'm going to use that. If you don't stress. So I'm using gluten-free flour, but you could use regular all-purpose as well, and it's 3/4 of a cup. Next, I'm adding 1/2 cup of vanilla protein powder. I like the Nuzest brand, the Clean Lean Protein in Smooth Vanilla. I like this one a lot because it has very minimal ingredients, just pea protein, natural flavors, and thaumatin. It has about 100, for every 100 calories, you're getting 20 grams of protein. So the ratio from 20 grams to 100 calories is really great. Nice and clean protein, and it tastes really good. It's super smooth. I have a discount. I will link it for you below. Sweetener, I'm using 2 tablespoons of stevia powder from Kiva Health Foods Organic. I liked using stevia powder in this particular recipe because it keeps the calories a lot lower because it's not adding any calories from the sweetener. If you want to use a regular sweetener, granulated sugar or something like that, you might want to just use a little bit more. So instead of 2 tablespoons, you could try maybe 1/4 cup because stevia is very sweet. And for the vanilla, I'm using an actual vanilla bean powder. So you get those nice speckles of vanilla all spread throughout the scones. I feel like it adds that really nice extra special kind of element. I'm using 1 tablespoon of the Kiva Health vanilla bean powder. I do have a discount code for Kiva Health as well. I'll leave it for you below. If you want to use a vanilla extract, you can do that. You just won't get the speckles. So maybe use about a tablespoon of vanilla extract in replacement for this. But this is super nice, and I use it in a lot of my baking. Next, I'm going to use 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder and a little bit of salt. I'd say maybe 1/4 teaspoon, slightly less. And then you're just going to sift all the dry ingredients into the bowl, give it a nice shake, and eventually you can use a spoon to kind of press down on any bits that are big clumps like this, to get it through the sieve in a nice fine powder. Just to get those last bits out, you can give this kind of a shake like that. What you'll notice is a little bit of the stevia is left here because the granules are a little bit bigger than, say, a flour, but it's not clumpy, so I'm just going to dump that right in. Mix those all together. Make sure everything is mixed, and then we're going to add in the butter. For the butter, I like the Earth Balance butter. I find it tastes exactly like regular butter, from what I can remember. And I like that it comes in these baker sticks. So I'll show you. Baker sticks give you all the measurements right here, so you can just cut to where you need it. So we need 1/4 cup, which is 4 tablespoons, so it's going to be 1/2 of one of these, and then we're going to put it in here. You want to do this when it is cold, straight from the fridge, so that it can get nice and clumpy. And then another just tip with these guys, when you're buying the Earth Balance butter, if that's what you like as well, I often find that the baking sticks like this are cheaper or on sale or just a better price than the actual cartons that are for just like your toast kind of butter. So if you have a little butter container, you can buy this. It's a bulk version of that, and you'll just save a little bit of money. We're going to add the cubed butter like that, nice and cold, straight from the fridge. And then you're going to want to make sure you have really clean hands because you're going to do this next part right in the bowl with your hands. You're just going to kind of mix the batter, or the flour, sorry, with the butter until you get a nice clumpy batter. So you'll see there's a bit of chunks here of the butter still. You don't want it to be completely blended. You do just want them broken up and mixed throughout the flour. And then we're gonna add 1/4 cup of milk. My original recipe, I used full fat coconut milk from a can. Today I'm using soy milk because that's what I have on hand, and I think it's gonna work out just fine. But the full fat coconut definitely gives you a richer end. We're gonna add the egg. So I'm using the egg replacer flour from Bob's Red Mill. You basically take 1 tablespoon of this, which is a mixture of potato starch, tapioca flour, baking soda, and psyllium husk. Mix it with 2 tablespoons of water, and then you mix it and let it sit, and it creates this really thick kind of gooey texture, similar to like a whipped egg. Now add that in, and then we're just gonna mix everything together and form a dough. I'm just going to use a spatula for this next part, and it's going to be a little bit dry, but we're going to add it to this surface afterwards and use our hands to kind of knead it into an actual batter so that you can form it into scones. So actually, we're going to go right in with our hands already. So we're just gonna spread a little flour out everywhere so it doesn't stick. And then this we're gonna add here, and we're just gonna give it a nice little fold until we get a nice circle. The batter is dry, but scones are a dry baked good, so don't be concerned about the moisture because that is how a scone texture really should be. So it's going to get this into a nice circle, and then we're going to cut it into scone shape. We've got our scone. We're just going to give this a nice slice. I clearly added a little too much flour around the edges, so we're not going to get any more of that into it. And we're just going to cut it that way and that way so that we get 8 beautiful mini scones. And then we're going to add each of these to a baking tray, and we're going to bake these off on a tray, and we're just going to bake these for about 16 to 18 minutes or until the bottom starts to brown a little bit. So now to make the protein yogurt base for the strawberry shortcake, we're going to use the Maison Riviera oat-based vegan Greek yogurt. This stuff is great because first of all, it is really, really thick, but it's really thick and nice, and it's also really high in protein. I should have done that after. It's 13 grams of protein for 3/4 of a cup. So we're going to do about a cup into this bowl here. 1 cup of the Greek yogurt, like so. Add in the Nuzest Clean Lean Protein Vanilla, smooth vanilla flavor, just like we did in the scones. I'm gonna do at least 3 scoops. And then you just have to really gently start to stir this, because obviously there is a lot of powder and you'll get the powder all over the counter and not in your yogurt. So you just have to really gently kind of fold it in until all the vanilla protein gets kind of a little bit wet from the yogurt, and then we'll be able to whip it smooth. This is going to act as the base. So now you can see here, it's all the flour is kind of mixed in, and now you can really get your wrist into it, and you can give it a really good whip until you get a really nice smooth texture, and you won't lose any of the protein. Just keep going until you get nice texture. This is going to be what would be the cream aspect of a strawberry shortcake. So we're going to add in the chopped strawberries to this, and then we're going to use the scones as the biscuit. I'm going to add in, it's about 5 strawberries chopped, and I did big chunks of strawberries, but you could definitely cut them into smaller chunks just depending on your preference. And we're just going to kind of mix that all together. And now you've kind of got your strawberries and cream situation here. And it's super, super high in protein because we've used about 15 grams of protein from the yogurt, and then 30 grams. So right in this bowl, we've already got 45 grams of protein. And then next, we're going to take our beautiful scones that we've baked, and we're just going to break them down into here. I'm just going to use my hands and get kind of chunks in different sizes and shapes. You could cut this again into proper shapes if you wanted. I like a kind of chunky texture, and then that's going to act as our biscuit, and we're just going to mix that all together. You add it to your container.